May 10th, 1970. Boston Garden falls silent as Bobby Orr takes flight. His body suspended in mid-air, arms raised in triumph. The puck already nestled in the back of the St. Louis Blues net. This moment, forever frozen in time, captures more than just a Stanley Cup winning goal. It marks the peak of a career that would change hockey forever. But beneath this portrait of victory lies a story of sacrifice, one that would reshape not just the sport, but our understanding of an athlete's physical toll. Before the knee surgeries, before the pain, there was a boy from Parry Sound, Ontario. In this small harbor town on Georgian Bay, Bobby Orr first laced up his skates on frozen ponds and backyard rinks. His father Doug, a food processing plant worker, and mother Arva watched their young son develop a skating style that seemed to defy the laws of physics. By age 12, Bobby wasn't just playing hockey. He was reimagining what a defenseman could be. The Boston Bruins saw something special in the 14-year-old Orr. In an era when young hockey players were often treated as mere commodities, they made an unprecedented move. They signed him to a junior contract, not just for his skill, but for what they saw in his eyes, a fire that would illuminate the path for generations of players to come. The pressure of being labeled the next big thing would have crushed many young athletes, but Orr embraced it with a quiet determination that would become his trademark. In the Ontario Hockey Association, playing for the Oshawa Generals, Orr didn't just develop, he evolved. From the stands. As the young star from Parry Sound took the NHL by storm, no one could predict that his greatest battle wouldn't be against opposing teams, but against his own body. The revolution he started on the ice would eventually lead to another, in how we protect and preserve the athletes who sacrifice everything for their sport. The first signs appeared long before the public knew anything was wrong. In the locker rooms of the late 1960s, away from the roaring crowds and flashing cameras, Bobby Orr was already fighting a private war. Ice packs became his constant companion, wrapping his left knee after every practice, every game. But in an era when playing through pain was seen as a badge of honor, few understood the true cost of each stride on the garden ice. The medical knowledge of the 1960s seems primitive by today's standards. Team doctors, working with the best intentions but limited tools, could offer little more than cortisone shots and hope. Arthroscopic surgery, now a routine procedure, didn't exist. Instead, each operation meant large incisions, lengthy recoveries, and uncertain outcomes. Yet, Orr kept skating, kept scoring, kept revolutionizing the game, even as his knee betrayed him with each passing season. Despite the growing pain, these were the glory years. 8 straight Norris Trophies as the NHL's best defenseman. 2 Stanley Cups. The 1970-71 season saw Orr accomplish what many thought impossible, a defenseman leading the league in scoring with 100. Walking upstairs had become a challenge for a man who once seemed to float above the ice. In quiet moments between periods, as his knee was being wrapped yet again, or must have wondered about the price of greatness. The sport he had transformed was slowly taking away his ability to play it. Yet he persevered, adding to his legend even as his body betrayed him. The fans still saw number 4 gliding across the ice, but few understood that each magnificent rush up the ice, each bone-crushing check, each balletic spin move came at an increasingly steep cost. This was the silent battle, fought in training rooms, doctors' offices, and rehabilitation centers across North America. While the hockey world celebrated his achievements, or waged a private war against his own body. The revolution he started on the ice would eventually lead to another, in how we treat and protect our athletes. But first, there would be more surgery, more pain, and ultimately, decisions that would change the course of hockey history. The 1975 season marked the beginning of the end. The Boston Garden crowd watched in silent worry as their hero's ice time decreased, his explosive speed now tempered by caution. Bobby, or the man who once seemed to control time itself on the ice, was now in a race against it. His left knee, veteran of multiple surgeries, was failing him with each passing game. The magical rushes up the ice became less frequent, the defensive plays more measured. The revolution he had started was entering its final chapter. Surgery followed surgery. Unheard of total for a defenseman at that time. The numbers tell only part of the story. 8 Norris Trophies as the NHL's best defenseman, 3 Hart Trophies as league MVP, 2 Stanley Cups, and the only defenseman to win the Art Ross Trophy as scoring champion. Not once, but twice. But perhaps his greatest achievement was changing how people thought about what was possible in hockey. He had transformed the position of defenseman from a purely defensive role into an offensive weapon. The price for this revolution was steep. Today, Orr walks with a noticeable limp, a constant reminder of the toll his style of play took on his body. Modern sports medicine, with its arthroscopic procedures and advanced rehabilitation techniques, might have extended his career by years. But Orr played in an era when surgery meant large incisions and uncertain outcomes, when playing through pain was not just expected but celebrated. The fall of Bobby Orr was more than just the end of a great career. It was a wake-up call for the sport. His story forced hockey to confront uncomfortable questions about how it treated its players, about the balance between entertainment and athlete welfare, about the true cost of greatness. The revolution he started on the ice would lead to another, equally important one, in how we protect and preserve the athletes who sacrifice everything for their sport. Life after hockey began sooner than anyone expected for Bobby Orr. At an age when most players are in their prime, he found himself facing a new challenge, building a life beyond the game that had defined him. But true to through the impact one leaves on the game itself. Orr's career, though abbreviated, changed hockey forever. His influence extends from the way defensemen play to how teams handle injuries, from contract negotiations to player development. Medical professionals today look at Orr's case as both a cautionary tale and a catalyst for change. Modern sports medicine, with its emphasis on prevention and long-term athlete health, owes much to the lessons learned from his career. The countless surgeries he endured, the premature end to his playing days, helped shape today's more cautious approach to player health management. In retirement, Orr has become more than a hockey legend. He's an advocate for player rights, a mentor to young athletes, and a living reminder of both the glory and the cost of pushing athletic boundaries. His annual charity game in Parry Sound brings together past and present hockey stars, raising money for youth hockey programs and medical research. The boy who once transformed hockey on the ice now works to transform it from beyond the boards. As Bobby Orr walks through the TD Garden today, his slight limp a testament to his sacrifice. He carries himself with the same quiet dignity that marked his playing career. The revolution he started continues through the players who study his old game films, the agents who learn from his business principles, and the doctors who build upon the lessons of his medical journey. His career may have been cut short, but his impact on hockey stretches far beyond those 12 brilliant seasons. The knee that ended a legend gave birth to a legacy. Bobby Orr's story reminds us that sometimes the greatest contributions to did more than change how hockey was played. He changed how the sport cares for its own.